Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up Wednesday. I'm Debbie Cronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I have a simple guide card, and with this one, we're going to let the paper do the work for us. And I'm using the woven textures again. I think I used this last week now that I think about it. And it's this paper that has these gorgeous patterns on it. This is so amazing. I just love this paper. And so it makes for great guide cards. So I am doing a guide card class coming up here in April. And so I'm going to show you one of the cards that we're going to do in the class. I did run into a little problem because I have a gal who does all my die cutting for me. And you'll never guess where my die cuts for this card are. I created this card and all my die cuts are with Stephanie, my die cut gal. And so Stephanie, I love having her. She comes and she picks it up from my home and she takes it home and she die cuts and she brings it back to me. And she does an amazing job. And I just love that she is working with me. And so this card, she has all this, she has my leaves and she has this rectangle here. But they actually came from autumn leaves is where they came from. It was the dies that coordinate with it. And so they're missing. I opened it up this morning and said, oh no, I've lost them. And I spent 20 minutes looking for them before I realized I'd given them to Stephanie. And then I used the Translucent Florals. And that's what I'm going to use for the greeting. I used this happy birthday. I love it because it's just a simple, plain little happy birthday. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have cut, that's my inside paper. I have cut a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 early espresso and scored it at 4.25 so that we can fold it and make that our card base. Now for the inside, I will put a piece of white on the inside. So I have not cut that yet. I have the Designer Series paper, which is the, what's it called? Woven Textures. And that is, I believe that's an online special, if I remember right. So I have a piece of this that I've cut, and this is 2.5, I believe, yep, 2.5 by 5.5. I have two pieces of gold here that I have cut. Let's see, which two? Because I have three over here. These two. These are cut at 3/4 of an inch by 5.5. And I'm going to attach them to the back of this. The reason that I do that, instead of putting a whole piece in there, first of all, you can see how much that saves cutting 1 inch. You could even cut less because it doesn't need to be that wide. But I thought for ease of today, I'm going to cut them a little wider. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal and just run that right up there. And then turn this over and just put that right on there. Just leaving, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch border, approximately. Just like that. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So it gives the illusion that there's a piece of gold paper underneath there, or gold foil paper. And I feel backwards here. I don't know why. Okay. So if you're using liquid glue, don't put this down until you're absolutely sure, any glue, until you're absolutely sure that's where it's going to go, because it makes an awful mess on the foil if you get glue on it and it doesn't come off. Okay, then I'm just going to attach that to the front of my card. Look at how simple this is. You could whip out a bunch of these in no time for all the guys in your life and have a stash of them and not even put a greeting on them. You could just wait and put a greeting on them later as to what you need. So I have done a happy birthday and I heat embossed it. So you stamp it with Versamark and then you put the white powder on it. I put white and then you heat emboss it. And because my little dies here are gone, we're going to do this real simple. We're just going to take a pair of scissors, paper snips, And I'm just going to cut this at an angle. Now, if you're worried about your angles being the same, that's kind of small, huh? I'm going to leave a bigger edge on the other side. But if you're worried about your angles being the same, you take the piece that you just cut off, and let's see, which way am I going? I'm going this way. Place it on here and cut again. Now I'm going to leave a bigger space over here because I have a leaf that I'm going to put there. So there we are. Okay. And then I'm going to take my gold foil and I'm going to do the same thing basically, but I am going to use this. Let's see, I'm going to cut here. And yes, I'm going to waste a little bit of gold foil because I'm going to cut right along the edge of that one. Then I'm going to scoot it over a lot. And I know there's more here, but that's okay because I'm going to cut right along the edge here. And then when I center it, it should be perfect. Just like that. Okay, so let's put those two together. We're doing a simple card today because I have a class this afternoon. And one on Friday, and just getting ready. One on Friday is Paper Pumpkin, and that one's been fun to do this time. Oh my gosh. So many great things in Paper Pumpkin this time. Okay, so then I'm just going to put this on with some dimensionals. But before I put it on, I have a leaf that I cut. I cut it out of, and I don't even know what this stamp set, what this die set was called, but it had the birch trees in it, and it had these two leaves, the bird, and some kind of shrubbery, which probably was a stamp that went with it. But I can tell you what it's called. Oh my gosh, it's in here. I kept it in here. Good. It's called Aspen Trees. That's why I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it and I was trying birch and it didn't work. Aspen Trees. I do not know if it's still available. I believe it's retired. So because I couldn't do my leaves here, because that's gone to Stephanie, I just said, I've got to have a leaf. So, and you guys might have this one. I never know. Okay, so I'm going to put that big oak leaf on, or that big leaf on there. It's not an oak leaf, obviously. And just put my greeting going right into it. And then I have a small one that I cut. I probably should have cut two small ones. But we're going to put that one on top. So, to figure out where I want to position that, huh? I think I'm going to make it go down. So I'm going to put my dimensional on the bottom here so that it goes down towards. And there we are. Oops. There we are. Just a really super simple card for a guy. No bling, no ribbons. I know, can you believe it, guys? And that is the card I have for you today. I will put the instructions for this on my blog, so you can find them at Stamp with Deb. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. We're